Growing up, I never had the opportunity to have a close relationship with my father. Not because he wasn't around willingly, but because of his work situation. Things have not always been easy for my family, but we work hard to stay together and really try to be a part of each other's everyday life. My dad was born and raised in McAllen, Texas. He was the 11th child out of 11, and they lived in a relatively small 3-bedroom house with my grandparents. When my dad was growing up, he would work with my grandpa at the packing sheds, delivering and selling watermelons. My dad had graduated high school at Mac High and continued to work with my grandpa in the packing sheds. It wasn't until my dad was 23 when he came to the conclusion that he wanted to enlist in the Army just like all his older brothers did. My grandparents were not up to the idea of their baby going into the Army, so my grandma suggested he stayed home and got a job nearby to help take care of my grandpa because he was suffering from several heart conditions. Fortunately, my dad was able to get a job at Vanity Fair right down the street of his house, where he would soon meet my mom and begin the rest of their lives together. After my parents got married, he began his career as a truck driver, which he worked started from 1984 to 2007. I was born in 1997, so during those first 10 years of my life, I understood that he was away working, but it was a time period where as a child, I had to adapt to the nomadacy of my father traveling on the road for weeks at a time, and then coming home for a couple of days, and then having to leave again. When the trip started slowing down, my dad started working as a welder. When he began welding, he was located to Louisiana, where I didn't see him for months at a time. He worked every day, including weekends, so there was no way he could come down to visit, which either meant during weekends, holidays, and breaks, we would go up to see him. After the work ended in Louisiana, my dad has been relocated to Corpus Christi, Carrizo Springs, Odessa, Houston, Laredo, San Antonio, and right now he is back in Louisiana. It's easier now to see him thanks to technology, but it's just not the same. When my dad being away really began to affect me was during my high school years. I was involved in cheerleading and was also part of the soccer team. I know my dad supported me in that, but him actually not being there physically did take its toll. I always told my dad that it was fine that he wasn't going to my events when really all I wanted was to look up to the stands and see my dad sitting with my mom and sister, watching me do what I love. When he was able to go and see me though, it meant the world to me, even if I didn't make it seem like it was. The instability of my father's job has been stressful to our family. He is able to provide for us financially when he is away. However, if he were to be part of our daily lives, paying for basic necessities could maybe become a struggle. I can't say that watching my dad leave back to work is easier, but it's just something that we get used to doing. I could never resent him for being away because I know he did it for us, and I know it's not like he enjoys being hours away with no family by his side. Despite the distance, I think it has only made our family closer and really impacted me to focus now on my education so I don't just become a photo figure in my future household, but an involved family figure.